Coming to paperback and e-readers, Isis Legacy. The sorority secrets from the goddess next door are revealed in this all-new Isis series adventure. Pre-order your copy of Isis Legacy on Amazon.com today. The SJS Direct 2022 catalog launched this weekend with the release of Isis Legacy. And Isis Legacy celebrates 3 milestones for the SJS Direct imprint. With the publication of Isis Legacy, the Isis series celebrates being in print for 10 years, and this was something I had planned to do back in 2002, but I didn't have the resources or a premise until 2012 when I launched the first Isis series book, Amari's Revenge. And from Amari's Revenge, I started building the momentum and crafting stories that became the Isis series over the last decade. Now, Isis Legacy also celebrates not only the 10th anniversary of the Isis series, it also is the 20th book in the Isis series. So we are now 20 books into the Isis series, and I'm hoping to continue giving readers quality stories in the 3rd story arc, which I'm hoping to start writing soon. Now, the 3rd milestone I'm celebrating with Isis Legacy is the conclusion of the 2nd story arc. Now, the 1st story arc in the Isis series ended with Isis All About the Goddess, and the 2nd story arc started with Isis Wrath of the Cyber Goddess. Now, Isis Wrath of the Cyber Goddess had a plot thread where Doc wanted Isis to meet a Theta sister, Colleen Anderson. Unfortunately, Isis's meeting with Colleen was prevented because she ran into the Cyber Goddess, and instead of her meeting Colleen, she met John Haynes instead. And from there, it has been an action-packed story arc filled with lots of action-packed adventures, and now the story arc is concluding with Isis Legacy. And I wanted to write Isis Legacy not only to conclude the 2nd story arc, but I also wanted to make a commentary on a woman's role in a family's legacy. Now, a lot of times when people talk about legacies, they talk about what men have gone out here and built, and they talk about how a man has created all of these different institutions as part of his legacy. For example, when people talk about Bill Cosby and the legacy he had with creating shows like The Cosby Show and changing the image of black people, they talk about what Bill Cosby did as related to media, and they'll also talk about people like the late Melvin Van Peebles and his contributions to film. Well, with this story, Isis Legacy, what I wanted to do was I wanted to talk about a woman's role in a family's legacy, because a woman's role is just as important as a man's role in protecting and preserving a legacy. Now, a woman's role in a legacy is different than a man's, and this is something I show in Isis Legacy, where the Colleen character learns about the history of the Thetas, and she learns about why Isis created the Theta sorority. Now, that's something I present here in this whole Isis Legacy story arc, because, again, a legacy is not also a man, it is also a woman. And a woman's role in a legacy is about teaching the culture that shows the children why they need to value what their fathers built. Yes, a father can go out here and build an empire, but if his children are not taught by their mothers to value what their fathers go out here and build, what they will do is go out here and sell away their legacy, and then the family will be lost and forgotten in the annals of history. And that's something that sadly has happened to a lot of black families, because a lot of black women have been taught to hate their husbands and hate their fathers. And as this culture has been taught to black women to hate men. What has happened is that whenever a father passes away, instead of the family going out here to preserve what their fathers have built and established, what they do is sell what their fathers went out here and built and established to white institutions, and then those white institutions incorporate what that man has built into their business, and these men's names and their families are forgotten. And that's something that really is a big problem, again, in the black community due to 50 years of feminism and 50 years of demonizing black fathers. We have mothers who have been taught not to value the things that their husbands or their baby daddies in some cases have gone out here and worked for. And instead of them teaching their children to value what their family has gone out here and established and have pride in what their fathers have put together, they go out here and throw it away, and they throw away their legacy. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote this story, because I want black people to understand the importance of legacy and the importance of a mother's role in creating and preserving a legacy, because a mother has to go out here and teach her children that the work that her husband is doing is valuable, that the work that he's doing is precious, and that it has some importance to the children, because once he leaves this earth, they are supposed to carry that work on. And that's what ISIS wants to teach young women in the Theta sorority, the value of a legacy as related to the woman's role. And that's one of the things that she teaches as part of the culture in the Theta sorority. Now, the Theta storyline is concluded here with Isis legacy, and that story started with Isis' death of a Theta, and then we followed it up with Isis' imitation of life, and Isis legacy concludes the Theta story arc, where we learn about Isis's founding the Thetas, the sorority that Colleen was a part of and pledged back in my 2013 book, The Thetas. Now, The Thetas ties into the ISIS series because I didn't get inspired to do the ISIS series until I started writing The Thetas, and I was writing The Thetas in 2012, and I saw a way to bring ISIS back organically by showing Dr. Flowers having a picture with Andrea Thomas Robinson. And in that picture with Andrea Thomas Robinson that was on her nightstand, we saw that there was Isis was there. So Isis was, and her alias was Andrea Thomas Robinson at the time, and I used that as the gateway to bring Isis back for Amari's revenge. So this story, Isis Legacy, brings the Isis character full circle as related to her connection to the Thetas, and brings her story full circle as related to the SJS Direct universe. And I'm hoping to continue building on that story in the third story arc, along with other story arcs that I am trying to plan right now as related to the Isis character. So I'm hoping to bring Colleen in and make her a more bigger supporting character in the Isis series. But don't worry, there will still be Easteme and John Haynes still around having story arcs. And I'm pondering bringing Spinsterella in for a story. I don't know how it would work, but I really want to bring Spinsterella in for a story. But don't look for any guarantees on that, but that's something I'd like to do. But Isis Legacy is a story I was very passionate about, and it's one I want to share with you because so many black children don't understand the concept of legacy, and I wanted to make it a story where they could understand the concept of legacy and why it's important to a black family. Now, Isis Legacy is available in paperback right now, and you can pre-order a copy of Isis Legacy on Kindle, and I'm hoping to have it on other e-reader platforms later this month. I wanted to have this book up for Black History Month because it ties into Black history, and I wanted to make a commentary on the cover as related to Black history. That's why you see Andrea Thomas Robinson and Colleen Anderson standing next to this painting, because I wanted to show the importance of how one generation's actions have an impact on the next generation. So I'm hoping you guys go out here and pick up ISIS Legacy, and I'm hoping you share this story with your children. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. If you think you've seen scares, get ready for the horror of the hyena woman.